Well, it
Mhm.
seems like you have a lot going on. How do you deal with your time management? I mean, you have a podcast, you go on summits, you have a YouTube channel, you create courses. How do you deal with that?
Yeah. Well, I will be honest, I am very selective. So like with the full service work, as we talked about, those projects are really involved. Those are 3 to 4 month projects end to end usually. So I'm only working with one person at a time for full service work. I don't At this point I have no desire to be like a course factory where I'm working with, 100 people at once and have a huge team. I really like to be really involved. I think that's kind of my superpower and why that service works so well. So yeah, I'm only taking on like one full service client at a time and really making sure that, they're the right fit and that I'm the right fit for them. And then, yeah, I mean, the other stuff, I think time, I mean, as we mentioned, I've been doing YouTube for 10 years. So it feels kind of like second nature at this point to get videos out and podcasts out. I'm actually restructuring my podcast for next year, which I'm really excited about, and bringing back some audio only episodes. So I'll still be doing the Friday show, the bigger production, but I'm just testing out doing like some mini episodes and bringing in guests, but I'm doing like all the interviews asynchronously, which is kind of cool. So like I'm working on a process is the point that I'm trying to share, is that like there's forms and everything is really easily repeatable. So it doesn't feel like I'm completely reinventing the wheel every single time that I press record. I think that's the secret, if I had one, is consistency and having process for everything.
Yeah, I think if you have the process, then it becomes familiar, and then it becomes almost like second nature, and it doesn't seem like work, or it doesn't seem like a struggle, or it doesn't seem like a big undertaking that has to happen, and you see it on your calendar and you freak out because you're not ready to do it or what have you. It just becomes second nature. And so your podcast,
you can outsource it.
Yeah, exactly. If you have your SOPs, your standard operating procedures documented and in order, and they do the process, then you can outsource that. The Freelance Friday podcast, that's a YouTube only podcast that you were referencing. What does that look like? What if you give us a preview of that? Because I'm really interested in this freelance stuff, because I love to serve those people who want to get started but just don't know where to begin. And the cool thing about freelancing versus affiliate marketing, in my mind, is affiliate marketing, the work's got to be done before you start making the money. You have to build up the following, or you have to build the funnels, or you have to rank, or whatever it is. So it's great. It is, as we talked about earlier, mostly passive once things get rolling, but it takes time for things to get rolling. So freelancing are for those who just like, I just want to work and then start generating some revenue. So if someone were to want to dip their toes in and think, well, maybe freelance is for me. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you have a lot of resources, but what could they expect over at the Freelance Friday podcast on YouTube?
Yeah, for sure. Well, it is available on audio platforms as well. So it's available on Spotify and Apple as well. But yeah, we also do it on YouTube, which is great. And yeah, I mean, I started out as kind of like answering all the questions that people had for me about how I started my business. So really breaking it down step by step, how to start a freelance business. So I share my personal stories. I also bring in interviews and guests who are doing things differently from me. Like I said, I started as a social media manager and video producer. But I talk to graphic designers and coaches and all kinds of different people who are making money online. And then, yeah, like I said, in the new year, I'm actually going to be bringing in some mini episodes as well that are going to share more of the community stories. So number one question that I get asked is, how do you get clients? So we've got a segment that, allows the community to kind of share their client acquisition journeys, because they all look different.